The pen tool in Photoshop is a very powerful tool that you can use to draw precise and complex shapes in Photoshop. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the pen tool. Okay, so this is the pen tool. Once you select the pen tool, when drawing with the pen tool, once you click the very first time, an anchor point is created. So you can use the pen tool to draw a shape by using several anchor points. Okay, so once that first anchor point is created, assuming you wanted to do a shape that is like a rectangle, what I would do is, if I want a perfect rectangle, I just hold the shift button and I click. You see, it draws a perfectly straight line, and I hold the shift button again and I click another spot. I click the next and I click the next. So a perfect rectangular path has been created. So if I want to create a shape out of this, I just need to come up here and I select the shape option under the pen tool settings up here. So when I click on this shape option, automatically a shape is being created. So for me to apply a color to that shape, I just need to click on the shape tool here, click up here on the fill, and then I choose a color. Maybe the color I want is not on this palette. You can now use the color picker tool to choose the color that I want, and you see the color is automatically applied on the design. So assuming that you want to work with a project and the logo you have to extract from that project comes like this, it's already on, maybe carrying a background. This is how you can do. Maybe it's a square project like this, you can use the pen tool equally to make a selection out of an already existing design. What do? You just click here, you make another point here, you make another point here, another point here, another point here, and once this is done, you just click on make selection. You can decide to use make selection, or you make a mask, but I prefer using a mask. So once you create mask, automatically the background is masked out from the whole design. So you are left now with just the logo that you wanted to extract from there. That is another way of using the pen tool. And assuming that you wanted to make a selection instead, so you go back to your pen tool, you click on selection, and when selecting, when you put 0 here, for instance, the edges will be very sharp. Are you seeing? You can now click on your mask button to make a selection. Assuming that you put a value in your radius which is high, say 15, and make your selection, and you use your mask button, you see that part of the design, the background, is showing. Maybe let me increase that a little more so you can really see what I'm saying. Undo, selection, increase the radius to say 50, and I click on mask. You now see that part of the background color is also showing on the design, and you see it's already the selection is eating part of the design. So what you want to do here is to make the selection as precise as possible. So I always like to use a radius of 1.5 for my designs. Once I take 1.5 and I create my mask, you see it's perfect. Okay, now let's look at other complex shapes you can draw with a pen tool. So let's say you want to make a selection here. You see this one involves curves. The previous example we're doing doesn't have anything to do with curves. If you want to draw curves in Photoshop, how do you go about it? So back here, now once you click here the first time and you want to create a curve, what you do is you click and you don't release your mouse. When you left click, you don't release the mouse. When you pull you move your mouse to the right or to the left, or you move further away from this second anchor point which you've created, a curve is being created. You see, when I pull it to the right, you see how it behaves. To the left, same. To the right, same. To the left, same. So when I do this, now this this part of the curve, this handle shows a direction to which the curve is being created. Meanwhile, this one adjusts the curve that has already been created. So when I do this and I want to draw the next shape, when I click and I move, you see the direction has changed to another direction, and this direction now points this way. Assuming that I wanted to change this direction completely and come maybe down like this, what do? I just have to hold the Alt key and I click on this direction handle and I reduce it like this. You can reduce it even to the minimum. You can bring it to this point and leave it. From there, now you can continue drawing. You can now continue drawing. Assuming that I also want to change the direction to go up this way, I just need to hold my Alt or Option key there, click, reduce it and bring it up this way, and now I can now continue drawing this other direction. So you see how it functions. That's how you can use the pen tool to create a custom shape. And when you've drawn your path and you come right to where you started from, once you click at that beginning spot, the path is connected. So let's go now to this other example here. Let's say we wanted to make this selection from this design. We wanted to select maybe the white part of this design. How are we going to go about that? We can click on our first spot. When doing this, I'll advise you to zoom in so you can see the points clearly. When I click here, I click on this other spot here. I click, I drag. You see it has created the curve already. Now I want to change the direction of this. I don't want it to come down straight. What do? I use my Alt key, click here, I reduce the length of this and I turn to the direction that I want it to go, and then click here and I pull. See, it has created another curve. My space bar and I move up. I click here and I pull. Then I click here and I pull. So we wanted to make a selection of the white part of the design. I just need to come up here now, click here, click here and here, and it has been connected. So from here I can now mask out the other part that I didn't want. If you look, you see that my selection wasn't really perfect because the color of the curve was almost looking like the color, this blue color here. That's why I wasn't able to do it perfectly. So when you select your pen tool, you can equally change the color of the path from here. See, the color of my path was exactly like this blue. Reason why I faced that problem. So you can change it to any other color, like maybe red, so that when you're drawing you can easily differentiate between the colors, the color of the path and the color of the background you're tracing from. Okay, let's do another example. Let's say we want to make a selection of these people shaking their hands. What I will do is I'll click on my pen tool and then maybe I zoom in a little closer. I click here, click the next point. Maybe I zoom in a little closer so I can be very accurate in my selection. This, click here, 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 here. You see here you need to make several points. Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. When you make a mistake, you can use Ctrl Z to undo. Control Command Z, undo, click and drag. Okay, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. So with the pen tool you can make any You can select any complex shape, like you see even this. Okay. That's it. Then I just go back to where I began, and that's it. Zoom out, and then maybe I create a mask and my shape is selected. So that is how you use the pen tool in Photoshop to make a selection. You can equally use it to draw a shape by just making your path and then you fill it up with a fill color. So if you like this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and click on the notification button so that you can get updated with new videos that I'm going to be releasing from my channel. Thank you for watching.